Artem Levshunov making his NHL debut last night. Thoughts on that? What did you think of his game? I don't know if you were able to see the game last night, but just thoughts on his game overall down here in Rockford and how it translated up to Chicago last night.
Yeah, I was able to see a lot of it last night, and thought he looked solid. A lot of what you see in him, what he does well, his skating ability, his just his natural strength, his ability to move pucks and think the game. All showed up last night, and I think in playing your first NHL game, that sense of urgency is obviously heightened, and he looked dialed in from the start and engaged.
Good weekend for you guys too overall. Obviously, good weekend in net for Drew as well. But just what are some of the things that are starting to click now as these wins start to become more important down the stretch?
Yeah, I think we're getting contributions from everybody up and down the lineup. With call-ups and injuries and illnesses, our depth has been tested, and it's allowed other guys to step up, and those regulars to collectively do more. So I think everybody's rising to the occasion. Like you said, with our goaltending, we're getting the stops when we need them, and they're keeping us in games when we need it. They're helping us conserve leads when that opportunity is there, and just all around. I think it's that time of year with once you're under 20 games, the playoff push kind of begins, and guys get a little extra focused, a little extra motivated, and just excited to come to the rink and play this time of year.
And then I know too it's very short term, but obviously with the Hawks edition of Spencer Knight, have you seen anything more in Drew Commesso just about maybe him working a little bit harder to get to that next step, knowing that he probably is the number 3 in the organization right now? Just have you seen any more extra motivation from him down here since that acquisition's been made?
It's probably not a coincidence. I think his play has definitely picked up since then, and that's talked about it on the development side, and as our prospect pool gets deeper, that competition is ultimately what helps guys develop the most. It's the best tool you have, and it allows the cream to rise to the top. So good on Drew to have that spark, that inner competitiveness that he has, and help him take his game to another level.
What'd you like about in the back-to-back? You mentioned a couple of guys on your back end that couldn't go this past weekend, and you had a lot of folks step up. Specifically, Adam McCormick comes in, makes his AHL debut. What'd you like from some of the the bottom couple of pairs of your defense this week?
Yeah, that's kind of your hope when you have your depth is tested, that they can just come in and give you good minutes when called upon, and as it is with all defensemen, it's the responsibility and the trust factor defensively, and being able to take care of your own end, and I think that's what our D top to bottom do pretty well. They're responsible. They know their roles. They know how to play defensively, and then on top of that, Mac, Petro, Flex, can know their games well enough at this point in their careers to where they keep it simple and play a good, efficient game, and like I said, give us good, solid minutes.
Lastly, from the trio of Ludwinski, Hayes, Savoie, 3 rookies that have, other than Hayes, who was out for a couple of months, have gotten decently used to the pro game life. What are you looking for from them over this final stretch run, to kind of evaluate their first years? What are you hoping to see even a little bit more from a group like that?
Yeah, I think all 3 of those guys that you mentioned have played their best hockey of the season of late, over the last couple weeks. 5-game stretch for Savvy. Hazy's getting back into it now, coming off his injury, so he looks like he's getting back up to speed and strength, and Luddy as well. So it's cliche, but at this point in the season, those guys aren't rookies anymore, right? So, for our playoff push and beyond, we're going to need large contributions from those guys. And, if the last couple weeks, handful of games is any indication that they're continuing to trend in the right direction, and, want them to do more than just kind of stay at the level they're at, we're going to ask them to continue to put in the work and develop and continue to add to our team game.
And then just one more for me. Obviously there's a lot of guys that are making their AHL debuts, a lot of young guys on this team, but you have a lot of guys too with that playoff experience, guys that were on this team last year as well. How much do you as a coach rely on those guys to kind of help on the ice and in those game kind of experiences that with those guys, Zach Sanford, Cole Gutman, things like that, who have had that experience? How much do you rely on them in these clutch games?
It's huge. I mean, a good veteran presence in your locker room, I'd argue is far more valuable than having the right coaches in place. They're the ones that they're in it. They're a part of it. They have a great feel for the pulse of the team and what's going on. So, kind of to your previous question and the uptick in play. It's not just the young guys, it's the older guys too, the veteran guys that kind of see that playoff light at the end of the tunnel, that playoff push. Every game this time of year is amplified and meaningful, and that gets everybody excited, young, old, veteran, rookie, and those guys collectively, you mentioned Scenes, Sandy, Gutty, Joey, all of our veteran guys, have elevated their games as well, and it's no surprise that the results are kind of following suit.
Obviously, making your AHL debut, just what was it like to get out there on the ice and here in Rockford?
Yeah, it was really cool. The first one, I just kind of wanted to take it all in and enjoy the experience and do my best overall. So overall, it was a great experience and very fun game.
I asked Coach, just in this late game or late year, experience, obviously the playoff push has started a little bit. How much do you rely on these veteran guys that have been in the locker room for last year's playoff push and obviously before as well? Just how much do you rely on them to kind of tune up your game?
Yeah, quite a bit. That's been the big emphasis ever since, coming in is this playoff push, and, every game, the 2 points is very meaningful. So the veterans have been great, just kind of leading the way in that aspect, and it's been good so far.
Who are some of the guys that you've kind of looked to so far in this short term here in Rockford? Who are some of these guys that you've talked to and kind of looked up to so far in your short time here in Rockford?
Yeah, Scenes has been great, Baddock's been great, all of them, honestly. It's been great just chatting with them taking the time to talk to me and welcome me to the club. It's been great.
And what are some of the things you're obviously looking to work on here in your time and obviously get towards that end of the year and get towards that playoff?
Yeah, just every game, every day, just kind of get more comfortable with the group, the staff, the practices, gaining more confidence with myself, keeping it simple out there and letting my instincts take over when they can.
I felt like watching you on Friday night, especially the way the game just went. Obviously, like you were just saying, you were keeping things simple, but as that third period came, you got a 4-0 lead. You're getting more and more ice time. He's relying on some of those bottom groupings. Was your confidence kind of growing the more and more ice that you got, especially in that third period against Iowa?
Yeah, definitely. Some situations, you're out there the last couple minutes of the period. That's where you gain the trust within the staff and within your teammates. So, when you get out there and key moments like that, late in periods, it's crucial just to, play your game and keep things simple and defend well.
What do you think was some of the biggest differences that you noticed from the ECHL and the AHL? And I know it's just been a couple of games, but just if it's style of play, speed, did anything pop out to you?
Definitely speed, skill. Everyone's in the right spot on the ice systematically. It's, you always have a pass. Guys are in the right spots most of the time, so that's a big emphasis for sure.
And how big is it for you, too, to come in a situation where, you got called up and there wasn't really a lot of time of morning skates, practices. It was kind of right into games for you, but you've got guys like Jalen and Marcel and, other guys from Indy that have spent time there. Does that make it even easier to come into a locker room like this?
Yeah, definitely. Just kind of them welcoming me when I get here. And, last week I only had a couple practices before, jumping right in there. So, like I said, I was just trying to keep it, very simple for the first 1 or 2 games. And, they've been great. All the guys have been great welcoming me in. So, yeah, it's been good.
How Back to the on-ice adjustments from the ECHL to the AHL, just how long does it really take for that to kind of kick in, for you to get normalized up here with that speed and familiarize your game up here?
Yeah, I think, like I said, just every day, every practice, every game, you just get more confident every single day. Things become, you just get used to it, I guess. So, no, every day it just, getting more confidence, gaining trust in myself and the staff and my teammates.